Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent his messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque, then in the same church, in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness, by giving, will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to and you possess. Otherwise you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 369th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Cremond, and I will be host once again in this weekly series of workshops. Once again, we have the honor of having the members and members and support members of the Universal Council to be present with us here today to present the workshop. So let's get into the body of the workshop here and begin our presentation.
Well, thank you very much, Rick, for always hosting and always being there and prepared to serve. I think you're an excellent example for the rest of us. And welcome everyone to I like to call it sometimes the University of the Universe, where we're learning so many different knowledges. But in this specific program, I think we're trying to, through our energies, create peace. And if this is your purpose of serving the others to create the conditions, you found the right place. I don't think we're the only place, but we certainly have amazing revelations in technology and understanding of who we are in the universe. So we welcome you all, and we ask that you join us in this process. You can be part of the new structure in a way. You'll be part of it anyway, but you can be an active participant in bringing the peace. And this is part of this program, is to explore in a way our energy dimension. Mr. Keshe said he'll handle the physicality, as we can see with the Keshe Foundation store. And it's our job to sort of work on the energy side to bring the change, the Universal Council. And I think we're seeing these whispers of peace between world leaders. Actually, they're not whispers. I think they're public announcements in a way that they want to work together. And as Mr. Keshe said, we're ready to lend a hand with a support structure. And part of this support structure is the Universal Council and their position in sort of bringing the peace through the wish, which you can do, and also to interface with the universal community, which I'm sure we'll be hearing and seeing more of. So we thank you for being here and being part of bringing the change on the energy dimension. It won't tax your physicality, but it will take some of the time of your energy side to bring the change. And as he said in the intro, it's the collective awareness. So we're trying to increase the collective awareness. We have sessions at 9 p.m. you'll hear about, but I don't think it's a few doing a lot of work. I think it's many doing a little bit of work, and this will bring the change. As he said, humanity has to bring the change, and he does see the signs that we're ready for this new space fuel, as he said, the basic space fuel we're ready for. So there's so many developments in and around the Keshe Foundation, and we're glad you're here and decide to become part of it and not just an observer. And this is where you can explore your own energy dimension as the creator. So thank you very much for joining us, and I think we'll continue the program.
Okay, for this part, we have what's called graphics of the collective soul, and there's a video that I will play. And this is from the 580th Knowledge Seekers Workshop of last Thursday, March 6th. And this will be about 7 minutes long. Here we go.
Man, due to the lack of its commitment to himself, has become asthmatic. with respect to the Creator. Our soul is aware of it. Connection to our physicality blocks it. We create a beautiful sensation with it that we give direct. It's you who has to understand what I call the process. I'm going to show you something which comes, the teachings now in the background is connected to our systems. You will see the way we show you during the sessions on Friday, we're monitoring how your knowledge seekers absorb and how we reach. This is the collection of you lot with us today. Look at this. We, if you look at it on the soul side, how much you're all, you call it in English, resonance with teaching. This is in the past few minutes. You don't see any difference, more or less. With the soul of physicality, all is engaged, is ready for that maturity. And the most interesting part is this part. If you look at it, this is the first time we see this. Direct teaching, direct knowledge, touching the soul of the man and the soul of physicality of the man. Direct path of the knowledge from the Creator to created. We usually see massive packages on this side or here, but if you see, it's all in line. Man is ready for the change. Man is ready to bring that change, and as I said, when we teach, you hear us by voice as knowledge seekers. But the soul of the universe has us by the soul, and this is the evidence of it. This is what you as knowledge seekers have done in the past minutes of the teaching. I wonder how you can explain this part. But the most interesting thing is, you're still trying to digest it in physicality, because if you look, the soul is still one place has managed to jump. And as I said, if you look in the very detail, you see the role of the emotion and the changes which it brings. If you expand on the whole structure, you see how physical you are and how your emotion is battling you to create that change. And if you look at it in a very, very detail, you see what I call the interactions, how your emotion is dictating, and a lot of you are physical. This is hundreds, thousands of you online today. This is what you are. This is what you interact with the knowledge. And this is important for us because we have to understand you. You see it in another group. When you look in detail, how much your emotions are playing the game with the interaction of the soul. You have to understand. If we interpret and we bring the knowledge together, you see us collectively still the same. It's one line. We usually see, if you remember other pictures, we have all sorts of things. You're receiving knowledge directly from the source. But part of it you understand is a knowledge, physical, and part of it is grasped by your soul, which enlightens you later on or in time of your life. Now we, as I said, we monitor even the teaching times. How effective is our teaching? How much you lot are connected to bring that change. And none of you have a headphone connected to our system. We have a thing, we have set up a technology which can tap into all of your imago. Man will understand this technology, this process in the coming time.
Okay, now we'll move on to our next slide, which is we'll begin the wishes. And I'll remind our attendees here and people watching that we'll have a full minute of silence after each wish in order for it to be activated and for us to do that. So let me see. Let's begin. I think we begin with Mehran.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody, all beautiful souls. So these are the wishes by Universal Council and Universal Council support. And we give from our souls for the problems we see around us, in our districts, in our area, in our planet, and collectively we accompany that wish with our soul. And we wish that wish would be stronger by the wish of everybody else at the same time, that we can change the world to a peaceful and justful world. So we, the Universal Council, collectively give the strength of the emotion to the world leaders to speak and manifest the path of peace between their nations and extending across the entire planet for all nations to follow.
We, the Universal Council, give through our soul to elevate all souls in existence that science with the soul is the true knowledge.
This one was with Dean or Joseph. Don't think we have them on hand.
Joseph is here.
Oh, there's Joseph. Sorry.
Just a moment. We, the Universal Council, give from our souls to elevate all difficult relations to our surroundings.
Can I add something? Interjection. This wish, it was my wish, and I used the commentary of Rick last week, which said, I give from my soul to my soul, and he feels better. So I used that for myself, and I gave from myself to the difficulty in my surrounding, which I had to confront. And I myself, with giving from my soul to that situation, I feel almost forgotten about that, the worries. So that's useful. I recommend. Thank you. Excuse me.
We, the Universal Council, wish that scientists, professionals, laymen, experienced people in plasma science with expertise in different fields looking forward to them joining us to be a part of the soul of peace.
we, the Universal Council, desire and give from our soul the elevator to all souls in existence, so that they might live in peace with the ethics of the Creator. Our wish is our command.
Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so, so much. Join the sound of man. Join the soul of man with the soul of man, with the soul of physicality by speaking these words in this moment. As we always done, maybe unknowingly, loving our soul, trusting our soul many times. Now we are doing it and we will be doing for eternity. I love you, my soul. I live with you and I love you. I love with you. And I adore you. See what the soul will give back to you. So beautiful. Thank you. And now we can go to the next presentation, my dear. Soul connection. And here, this connection, well, we are all already connected. As we said, I adore you, my soul, for always, like forever. We always were, never separate. Now we can, I will do it in English. And this is the way in India we say, well, focus on the breathing, breathing, breathing slowly, focusing on the breath, breathe out slowly, giving and receiving the love, only the love. And that makes everything so peaceful and so prosperous. So enlightened, I will say. And here in India we say prana. Prana means the pran, the life in the living being. So we have to understand the breathing is so much necessary in a way to have this message of love, giving the love. It makes more easy. Even a bit of yourself, on all cells in your body, in your energy field, it works, this breathing works when you take it consciously. Because, you know, we don't breathe like that daily, 24 hours. We just breathe and just going on work. But when we breathe, in focusing on the breathing, then that is the breathing from the, from the light, from the, and the light structure in a way that, the structure of the light is structured because in this breathing you have this intention of love. So it makes more easy, more in a way, more easy to manifest the elevation, the love we do all the day, all the time, all the moment. So breathe slowly, focusing on the breathing from your nose to your heart and then back, giving and emitting the love you are. So this will be for 3 minutes, the soul connection, my dear beautiful soul, as you are always. So the breathing or the soul connection starts from now for 3 minutes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, beautiful soul, for always being present here with your heart and soul, full of love for all souls in existence. Thank you so much. With this, I would like to read a quote from a beautiful soul, Ulie Kai, posted by Amrit Sandhu, and the quote is kinder. I wish the world was kinder, a little softer on those who are healing, grieving, waiting, or just starting to understand how lonely the road can be. May we greet one another with the same kind of light that we ourselves are searching for. Just because we look strong doesn't mean we feel strong. We just carry the heavy things well. Thank you, beautiful soul. Thank you. Salam, namaste, Fareed.
So, again, we invite you to join the souls. And in fact, what's the soul? If in Keshe Foundation, we are knowledge seekers, we are understanding that in creation, we have 3 layers of creation. In human, it is the one physicality, second, the soul of physicality to handle all problems and emotion related to physicality of this world, and second, the soul of the man. And where is it situated? In Keshe Foundation, we found out that soul is in the middle of the skull of a man, and it has a lot of power. And before that, the soul was the domain of churches, the Sufis, some philosophers, and common people had no time to research or no practical utility to finding about that. And now we are learning about our energy center. And we are learning also the plants have energy centers. The stone has energy centers. So we have to respect their being at the same time. And that our soul has a lot of power. And it is extensible. The more you take it out, the more it goes. And we can create our reality. The emotion of the soul, the emotion of the physical soul of physicality, they are able to create a future. They're able to create mass. They are able to move the field. And we know that everything everywhere is created from the fields in motion. So that was just a small explanation. And that what we say that we gather the soul is not just a philosophical idea or a esoteric idea that we do that as they do it. This time it's said about the language of knowledge. The language of knowledge is something which everybody who does that can see the results if it's done the same manner. So now we are going to use that as a means to reach a peaceful world that everyone finds its happiness. Everybody in this world is respectable, is different. They have soul, they have emotions, and we are all the images of God. So we have to treat each other as images of God. If we think about it, if we go and research, and more there are evidences which come out to prove this correct. So we, the Universal Council, decided that every night at 9 PM CET, we asked our knowledge seekers who want to share, who want to take part in this movement of peace and prosperity, to take part in it, as many of us wished before that to be part of this peace movement, that they join their souls, they just let their souls to get together with others and unifying the souls and with universal councils to have a peaceful world. Mr. Keshe always says, I give you the whole knowledge when there is a peaceful world, when the 8 million people can enjoy the technology all at the same time with equality. So the knowledge could not be lost or be in the hands of people who gather it and pay the others to pay for it. So the easier, the faster we get to the peace on earth, we can get the whole technology, which is much more advanced comparing to our actual technology on earth, and also Mr. Keshe said, this is the edge knowledge of the whole universe. So also there is another thing after peace, that we can join the universal community, which are family, which are friends, which are looking at us and want us to have the right attitude, that we can join them. We can colonize some of the planets which are empty and go tourist. And with the transport technology, all that is possible. So I wish that at 9 o'clock, even for 2 seconds from your hearts, you join the hearts with others and give from your soul to the soul of one of the politicians. You know, you want them to change. You think there is other way to do. You give to their soul, that this person elevates and decides to follow the path of peace. That's our way of doing it. Because in Keshe Foundation, we don't harm anything. So you can do it any other time. You see a picture of a politician and you see they're making wars and you don't agree. Just give from your soul to that politician that they elevate. And that's how we can have our parts for the better of humanity. And I thank you very much.
Mehran, I was thinking of the bells in the glass. Is this the time we could, maybe it's more palatable to say we can ring our own bell and ring our bells collectively for peace and elevation of the leaders in the planet? Would that be easy to sort of accept, that this would be a time at 9 p.m. for you to ring the bell, not a physical bell, although you could ring a physical bell, but the bell of your soul? And in unison and in resonance, we have such a combination of fields that the change will begin to quickly manifest itself as the collective awareness grows as well. So I was just thinking we can ring our own bell in a way, if that's more palatable or acceptable, if you can't see the energies, equate it to the bell in the glass.
Yes, of course. There's some practice I do, Buddhist practice. We don't have the bell, but there is gong. There is something we with some caoutchouc we put. The gongs, which make the round metal thing, and we with the stick we put the names of the dead people, and we put them, that they get the resonance of it, I think, kind of that. So any kind of noise, I think, rhythmic noise would do like the bell, and when anything which corresponds with our liquid intern. Of course, I try it and I give you the results. I've never done that, but it is done in some places, the noises they make in some manifestations. Thank you.
And
Good
then,
idea. Yeah.
instead of just ringing it once a day, you extend that to your bell ringing all the time, if that's possible.
Beautiful. I do that to see if I feel more. It's a good idea. Anything is fun. Yeah.
Next, we have the daily wish. And today is Tuesday wish. Would someone like to read that?
We, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of the leaders to achieve permanent and lasting peace as part of the soul of peace and totality.
Okay, thank you. And maybe someone could explain the idea of the daily wishes. What's that all about?
I think
My dear,
Lisbeth. Okay. Sorry.
No?
yes, I was going to. Mehran, if you want to say, please go ahead.
Sorry. No, I just thought it was the Lisbeth idea who was saying that. So go on, please. You know that.
Yes.
Probably.
Thank you, my dear. This daily wish is for 24 hours, like as we will post it tomorrow, today also in the Telegram chat, so that everybody can focus on it, focusing more and more on the wishes that we post daily. That will elevate it like a constant focusing, like when we are talking about the soul connection, focusing on particular intention will increase the intensity, the frequency or the movement of this manifestation more and more um, in a way forming the intention in manifestation. So this is the way, my dear Vic, this is the intention, so that everybody can do 24 hours, anytime. It is always, this wish is always in your heart. So this can be focused, but because in these uh, times that the world is transmuting in a way, we should focus on different aspects, so that, as you know, to be kinder, more focused. So thank you, my dear.
Right, and just as a soft reminder as well. Go ahead.
It's okay. Go ahead. You speak and then I speak.
No, just a soft reminder, Rick. Sometimes we read the wishes in the one planet, but then they sort of go by the wayside. You don't remember them during the week or the next week. So this way, every day, a different wish is being focused on and perhaps intensified as people glance at it and they like it, they'll add their energies to it. So in a way, it's trying to strengthen and keep that wish in everyone's consciousness for a longer period of time, and adding more energy to it, perhaps. As I said, I don't think it's the few doing a lot. I think it's the many doing a little. This will achieve the change, but this is just a soft reminder to people.
There is one aspect that's interesting about this using our wish to focus our soul connection, is that by doing so, we are engaging our soul more precisely. Or in other way, we are practicing how to use these wishes. In that process, we improve our capacity to do such wishing in other aspects of our lives and in other areas. So it's an exercise for ourselves to elevate our capacities. And by elevating our capacities, we are in a better position to serve. So it is not just improving ourselves, it is improving ourselves for the improvement of all. And this is something that's very much part of us, but we often forget in our daily preoccupations the power we carry, the power we are in a position to use for the betterment of each and every soul, and thereby bringing us closer to the Creator. Thank you.
Hello, good evening or good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
I'm Stefania for representing the Italian Universal Council. Yeah, for me, I agree 100% with Mushfaq. For example, I noticed that since I practice more and more transmutation and I'm trusting the power that we have within, I noticed that even when we connect a 9 o'clock, I feel now the connection. I start to feel that I'm connecting, so I'm becoming more and more aware. So I definitely noticed the more I practice, things are improving in that aspect that maybe many people of us are not very confident or very used to work at the energy level. So this way people can practice because like Shweta said, sometimes, here we wishes at specific time, but we are a worldwide organization. Other people are at sleep, other people different time of the day. So I really agree on this plan because it gives people the chance to be reminded to practice, and they can do it on their own time, in their own continent, different times. And maybe like this, we can create this grid of connection at the soul level. And when I listen Mushfaq, definitely in the East they're very used to this, but for us in the West can be very foreign way of thinking. But if we remind people to practice, then more and more it can become second nature. This definitely happened to me, where I can really feel more and more and more when we connect. And I start to really enjoy as well more, because now it's got more meaning to me. So when we focus at 9 o'clock and we connect at 9 o'clock all together, because now I can feel it that we're connecting, I really feel it's like I'm plugging to something. Then now it's got more meaning. But I would not arrive to this point if I would not practice daily. The best things has to be practiced daily if we want to progress. So that's why I'm really pro for this idea, and I'm sure more people practice daily in different time whenever they can. We can strengthen this connection more and more, and more people will become more aware of it, of this connection at the energy level, and will make more sense for everybody. And like Mushfaq said, we start to really understand the meaning of the power that we have inside. It's not just theory now. It starts to become more a concrete things, then a tool that then we can use to our advantage. Okay, just this I want to say. Thank you.
Now we have reached our third commandment. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. It's not that easy for me to go into deep English words to it, but what I want to give you for your way is, if you think good, then you will also speak good. And I think it's the easiest I can share to you. Maybe there are some others that want to go deeper into the meaning of these words, then please open your mic and share it with us. Thank you.
Maybe we can examine this by looking at some of the existing religious organizations, how they have exploited the word God. I mean, it comes in various flavors in different religions and all that, but we see how this is used to do whatever they choose to do and whatever, control wealth, building, whatever else that there is. So these are examples of using the Creator's name in vain. So sometimes do we inadvertently do it? Yes. I mean, because we have been taught doing this kind of things. But once we become aware of it, then we can choose consciously to use it appropriately. What does it mean? It means that we would, automatically say something like, well, God will remind me of this thing, something like that. This is, I'm translating something which is very common here in my culture. I mean, people say it all the time. And I don't, criticize anybody, but I consciously try to not do it. And at the beginning, it was rather difficult because, you hear people doing it, you do it all the time, this kind of things. But yes, we can use the names, various attributes of Creator. And for example, the one that in my part of the world where there are 99 names of God, you can use those to emphasize certain things in certain circumstances, but knowing and being very precise in doing so. It's just not just saying it right. It's just by doing so, we are consciously engaging our connection with the Creator. But by automatically doing it, we're actually exploiting it, hence the word vain. Or we are making it mundane, but it is nothing but mundane. So we have to engage when we connect with the Creator, as we do when we engage our soul. So we have the possibility. It is done consciously and precisely. It is nothing airy-fairy, nothing habit or conditioned behavior. It is the most powerful magnetic field that pervades the whole universe. And it's better to be precise and I mean, I would say Germans are precise, like, you know, like our German friend here. And that, I mean, so we have to follow their example of being precise and move it a little further. And, so it's good to have the German precision and bringing the commandments here. Thank you.
Thank you, Moshe, my dear. Yes, precise. Like, you know, the Creator has created all of us in His invisible, all souls in existence in His image. So I will say, this is the God is the talking love, doing love. Say that, say, be kinder. This is, if we say God, so this is God. This is the universal, unified love, Creator's field. So it should be like, you know, in a giving position. So it shouldn't be like, you know, and that's all. You have to give. You have to understand. Like giving. This is the way we give. So this is makes us in a giving position. Like you say, we are here to serve, not to be served. So this is what I understand with this precise indeed. Like we are doing the wishes now for precise, for to be precise uh, moment and precise intention. So this can be, this commandment is like, you know, the God, if the God is there, the God is indeed the universal creator, the image we are in the giving position, the kindness, the love, the compassion. We can be and we can give. Like standing in, I am a kind and, oh, I can do that, I can, you know. But then, even when I used to do that, like, you know, giving, always going fast to give material thing, like, you know, like some clothes. This is very good indeed. But this is unstoppable, you know, like draining my energy always. But still, I am sad because I cannot do for so many. But I am a kind person. But then I understand that with these intentions, with these intention of serving, elevating, is the precise thing we can do for the whole world, the whole existence. So this is the universal creator. If they say God, that is the God. Yes, misused by religious organization. But now it can be understandable more and more in balance. So thank you, my dear Moshe. Thank you, Joseph, my dear. Thank you.
And I would add also, in my understanding, that with the internet information and discoveries and documents, we understand more and more layers of the grandeur of Creator and the Creator for us, for animals who have emotions, plants who have emotions, the whole universe. We get to know that they are also the creatures of the Creator. And so when we just say whatever not at the level of Creator, even though it's much higher than what we think in 2025, for example, then someday we will regret it. Because one way or another, when we have problems which are not solved or which seems really difficult, like the death of somebody we love or some things which really hurt us, people say, God, oh my God. or God help me. Some people are near accident and say, God help me, and sometimes the accident doesn't happen. So, well, anyway, we have to ask this God to help us one day or another, at last at the end of the life. So why we should diminish the name of this creator, and then we would be regretful. And so it says that even though you have an imagination of who God is, it still is much, much, much lower than who really creator is. Because it's still bigger. In Islamic word, they say Allahu Akbar. Allah, the name of God in Islamic word, is greater. Means it's 1,400 years, they say that. But the idea of the Arab word at the time, the desert man, and the idea of man now about creator is different. And we see how great it is. And I'm sure in 5, 10 years, 20 years, they still find a creator with much, much higher domain and creation. So in any case, we are still unaware of how great and how lovely and kind God is. There is a program I was looking today in Iranian TV, which is about experience of, it's a university research documentary, but people who die in hospitals or otherwise, and they could bring them to life, and they say about their experiences. And these people say that life continues, the other part, the other world. But the real thing, they say that, for example, trees can talk when they break the branches. The tree cries, don't break my children. Don't break my children. So there are all these things which man is not aware yet. But those who go there and come back and dare to talk about with all the testimonies around them, they say there's another word, they see the real creation, which is high, more complete and more meaningful and profound than this Earth's world we live in with all these pollutions of the diverse sources. So I'm coming back to whatever we think of God and Creator with our knowledge, with our emotion, it's still higher and higher. And the only place we can understand it is deep inside us, the moments we take and think about it. People don't think about this. And so it's still always greater than what we ever imagine. Even from what we can imagine, the highest, it's still greater because of all this creation which continue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, members of the Universal Council. I'm going to step back one step here, and we have a video to play about becoming a Universal Council member. So let me get that lined up and let's have a look.
There's something which I should have made announcements. As we are structuring in a new development of the Keshe Foundation, is worldwide application and implication. As we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60, and they served during the 60 years they are there till 61. They to run the functionality of the operation of the what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of many languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally, and we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply for to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation on the grounds of true structure of the nationality, understanding the culture, that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation, or send the email to info@keshe.foundation, say I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's the excerpt from 576 Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Go back to our presentation, and the next slide is about the questions and answers with the Universal Council. This is with Maria and Claudia, and they're working on the second question now. And these meetings are once a month, every first Saturday of the month. So this one, came from Saturday, the 1st of March. Okay, let's tune in to Claudia and Marie as they work on the second question. Let's start that now.
Rick, are you still getting that started?
Thank you, Mark. I've been playing it here and it's working fine for
I
me.
kind of felt that. Normally it's quicker delivery, so.
Okay, let me go back here just a minute.
No problem.
Got it. Okay, I'll try the same thing again, and hopefully you will hear the sound and let me know if you don't.
Are on the second question. Hello, friends of the Universal Council. How are you? We know that our planet is suffering from a lot of interference, and a lot of people are also suffering from a lot of health issues. I know that there is an ethos about technology where we can't go around handing out our patches and waters from the cup of life to the sick. But I ask you, what do we do when we see people suffering who are unable to make their own reactors and who no longer have the physiological or even the IQ to study the technology? I know that my family and I have already experienced the high concentration of energy in the ganses, especially in the CO2 gas, which takes away pain in minutes. What ethics should we follow in order to help these people without hurting the ethos of the technology?
Então vamos para a segunda pergunta. Olá, amigos do Conselho Universal, tudo bem? Nós sabemos que nosso planeta está sofrendo com muitas interferências e muitas pessoas estão sofrendo, também com muitas questões de saúde. Sei que existe um ethos sobre a tecnologia, que não podemos sair distribuindo PETs e águas do copo da vida para enfermos. Porém, eu pergunto aos senhores, o que fazer quando vemos pessoas sofrendo, que não têm capacidade de fazer seus reatores e não têm mais condições psicológicas, até mesmo QI, para estudar a tecnologia? Eu sei que já experimentei em mim e na minha família a grande concentração de energia que tem os GANs, principalmente de CO2, que tira a dor em minutos. Qual será a ética que devemos seguir para podermos ajudar as pessoas sem ferir o ethos da tecnologia?
And we have an answer. The ethos is there for you to walk the right path of truth. Listen carefully to what Mr. Keshe explains last Thursday, the 30th of January 2025, about the soul of the Universal Council, and the field strength that exists when we joyfully connect together. Don't see yourself or the others as different or separated. It's not. In our lays the power to change manifestation without a limit. Understand that the time of words and wishes is over for those who understood. In the responsibility of our connection, we create peace, we create harmony and love. A few weeks ago, a knowledge seeker asked me, how can we change those so-called world leaders and those behind them? I answered, by sharing our unconditional love. We flood them with that unconditional love. See and observe what they will have to oppose to that field strength and position. It's the pure love of the Creator, which is you, me, and all other are part of. Why still so many souls do not understand? They search outside themselves what lives and loves inside of them. Become aware of you as a creator, of your own environment creation. Start shining like a star and give without any expectations.
Então a resposta é: o ethos está lá para aqueles que vocês. O ethos está lá para que vocês trilhem o conhecimento certo da verdade. ouçam com atenção o que o Sr. Keshe explicou na última quinta-feira, dia 30 de janeiro de 2025, sobre a alma do Conselho Universal e a força de campo que existe quando nos conectamos com alegria. Não veja a si mesmo ou aos outros como diferentes ou separados, pois não é assim. Em nós está o poder de mudar a manifestação sem limite. Entenda que o tempo das palavras e dos desejos acabaram, para que aqueles que entenderam, na responsabilidade de nossa conexão, criamos paz, criamos harmonia e amor. Há algumas semanas, um buscador de conhecimento me perguntou: como podemos mudar os supostos líderes mundiais e aqueles que estão por trás deles? E respondi: compartilhando o nosso amor incondicional. Nós o inundamos com esse amor incondicional. Veja e observe o que eles terão para se opor a esse campo, força e posição. É o puro amor do Criador, do qual você, eu e todos os outros fazemos parte. Porque tantas almas ainda não entendem, procuram fora delas o que vive e ama dentro delas. Tome consciência de que você é o criador da criação de seu próprio ambiente. Comece a brilhar como uma estrela e dê sem qualquer expectativa.
And there is another answer. Each soul decides what is best to help another. It knows what it gives freely, how and to whom, remembering to always do the right thing in the lives of others. First, I ask permission from my soul and of that being to unite as one, and then I make my approach. Also ask to find the words and the right emotion to help it. You offer what you feel that this being needs, what it asks of you. Remember that each soul is free to accept or not your help. The disclaimer expresses it clearly. Personally, I do offer the plasma water and make patches to whoever needs it and wants to use it. I clarify that I'm not a doctor, but my mother has benefited from it if she wishes to use it, and obviously I do not compromise the name of the Keshe Foundation. I basically explain how the energy fields expand and replicate in the water. Most people then want to know more about the science of the Creator.
A segunda resposta é: cada alma decide o que é melhor para ajudar a outra. Ela sabe o que dá livremente, como e para quem, lembrando-se de sempre fazer a coisa certa na vida dos outros. Primeiro, peço permissão à minha alma e a desse ser que para se unirem como uma só. E em seguida faço minha abordagem. Peço também para encontrar as palavras e a emoção certa para ajudá-lo. Você oferece o que sente que esse ser precisa, o que ele pede de você. Lembre-se de que cada alma é livre para aceitar ou não a sua ajuda. O aviso de isenção de responsabilidade expressa isso claramente. Pessoalmente, ofereço a água plasmada e faço emplastros para quem precisar e quem quiser usá-los. Esclareço que não sou médico, mas minha mãe tem se beneficiado do uso deles. Se quiser usá-los, e obviamente não comprometo o nome da Fundação Keshe. Basicamente, explico como os campos de energia se expandem e se replicam nesta água. Com isso, a maioria das pessoas quer saber mais sobre essa ciência do Criador.
And there is another answer. As Mr. Keshe is teaching us in the Thursday teachings, the ethos of the universe and also the ethos of Mitra. By living the ethos of Mitra, by acknowledging your behavior in every second of your life, think good, speak good, do good, you strengthen your soul and get closer with it as well. You will be aware of the fields around you, which are there for you, containing information, and will interact with you by giving and taking. Accommodation, never forcing. Always give to the weaker. Teaching and sharing the knowledge you have to enlighten the others. Elevate every soul in creation. Be a river of love and light for the other souls to take from. You will see the elevation in others. You will feel the enlightenment and the connection with others. Even if your fellow man does not acknowledge his soul, it is still there for you to interact with. Do your soul elevation of others in every moment of your life, and you will feel and experience the changes in others. The universe is running on unconditional love. Tap into it. Join the joy in sharing, and the world will transform into peace, harmony, and prosperity for all. Just trust the work of your soul.
E outra resposta é: como o Sr. Keshe está nos ensinando nos ensinamentos de quinta-feira, o ethos do universo e também o ethos de Mitra. Vivendo o ethos de Mitra, reconhecendo seu comportamento em cada segundo de sua vida, ao pensar o bem, falar o bem e fazer o bem, você fortalece sua alma e também se aproxima dela. Você estará ciente dos campos ao seu redor, que estão lá para você, contendo informações e interagindo com você, dando e recebendo. Por acomodação, nunca forçando. Sempre dê aos mais fracos, ensinando e compartilhando o conhecimento que você tem para iluminar os outros. Eleve cada alma da criação. Seja um rio de amor e luz para que outras almas o utilizem. Você verá a elevação nos outros. Sentirá a iluminação e conexão com os outros. Mesmo que o seu semelhante não reconheça a alma dele, ela ainda está lá para você interagir com ela. Faça a elevação da alma dos outros em todos os momentos de sua vida, e você sentirá e experimentará a mudança nos outros. O universo está funcionando com amor incondicional. Acesse-o. Junte-se à alegria de compartilhar, e o mundo se transformará em paz, harmonia e prosperidade para todos. Apenas confie no trabalho de sua alma.
Okay, so then we are on the third question.
And the third question, we'll wait until next week, and we'll have a look at that. For now, we go back to our presentation. And move into the next part, which is the knowledge and understanding from the 579th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. With Shweta and or Dean and or Mashfaq. I'm wondering if it might, maybe it's supposed to be the 580th.
Yes, 580th. Yes.
Yes, I believe so. Okay, let's
begin. Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so much. So, knowledge and understanding the knowledge universal. So, excerpts from the 580th Knowledge Seeker Workshop. Thank you to our beautiful teacher, Shriman Mehran Keshe. Thank you. Pranam, salam, namaste, salute. So, there is a question asked, Mr. Keshe, when you showed us the graph of the soul and solar physicality, soul of physicality and physicality, there was near an ear equal to a plasma from the universe coming in and a tail equal to the plasma going out from the physicality. Should they also be added to a McGrath system, like two antennas on one on the top and one on the bottom. And this is what actually is what is above, what is below. The same is that. And Shriman M. Keshe said, the way you make your magraphs, it's a black hole in a universe. Well, of course, it's a black hole, and a black hole is a stargate, my dear beautiful soul. If you understand how to use it, how to connect it, you should have no problem. As I said, our knowledge seekers always looked for matter state, not condition, but they didn't look for the field dimension. And it's time to do work on it. Put it this way: we don't see any cables connected from the sun to the earth, but we still receive the energy in a different way through the field. The beauty of it is, if you want to understand how much the energy of the sun affects us and our emotion, choose a sunny day, nice warm day, and sit under the umbrella in the shadow. And then when it speaks of the heat, lunchtime or whatever, walk out of the umbrella's environment into the open space where the sun hits you. You feel warmth, try to feel what pressure is put on your skin. You feel the pressure of the sun, the rays, and measure your emotions. What does it change in your emotion? Then you understand a lot of things if you are there to understand. You can use part of that energy for transmutation if you want. You can use it for anything else, but what does a man do? Changes to it enough? Changes to emotion? Or it feels nice and warm? Emotion of warmth. This feels hot, emotion of heat, but that he absorbed by the skin. And a person says, I feel so good. So, and the doctor tells you, vitamin D. It's fake it. This is why we go through all these problems. So I will say, we are all knowledge seekers, my dear beautiful souls. But this is my understanding is, if thousands of years they are giving us vitamins and all, supplements and all, but still the decay happens, the death and birth happens in a massive way. How? Because the drainage of our emotions. And when we say, I was also a science student, and we were said that there is this voluntary physicality. They didn't tell that physicality. There is voluntary function of the body and involuntary function. What is that involuntary function? You cannot pump your heart with your own hand. It goes on like this. It goes on. This is the universal mechanism. That is what is above, what is below. So it goes on. As we start to neglect, start to avoid, don't trust on this mechanism. We see only physicality. What we touch, we believe. What we see, that we believe. But we don't understand how this universal, this beauty and totality, this mechanism of love, light, how this mechanism works. It works in the universal unified field of love, light, and energy. This is the way these things work, and this controls the emotions if we understand and trust the soul, the mechanism, universal. So we have to understand this also. That, like, when we say the enhancement unit, and people go in and say, well, I will be, well, of course, transmuted in a way. I will come out, and I will be young and beautiful, and but what about your thoughts? What about your moral? What about your universal unified being within you? Have you had this intention? Have you understood whatever is going on? Have you understood the knowledge? How can we do that without your acceptance, without your ability to understand? You go in and you come out with nothing happened. And you will say to the world, oh, nothing has happened. It doesn't work like that. So this is the way. Always we create this magra, we create this solution, yes. But this solution has enhanced our ability to understand more and more, to create the balance. of the universal unified field within us, the inner infinity that is infinite. And the arrow above and the arrow below are same, because universal law is all about equality, my dear. If there is love, that is equal for all. Peace is equal for all. Prosperity is equal for all. So this mechanism goes on until we don't understand. When we understand that, we say, science needs the soul, my dear beautiful soul. So inclining more on the physicality, more on physical condition, do try to understand what you need. Even a thought is an energy. If you accept that, it is going to destroy you in a way, if that is a destructive thought. So I will say this is the understanding that yes, the sun hasn't cabled towards the earth to feed us or to we just feel it, we understand it, and it works. There's only vitamin D. No, this is nonsense. So I will say that the universal unified field works in its way, in the universal law, the mechanism we are. So we have to understand that. For thousands of years we have done this, but this time in peace. So I will say the working of the mechanism is towards peace, my dear beautiful soul. You can see it in physicality if you understand. So thank you. Thank you for listening, my dear beautiful soul. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute.
Hello, everyone. This is Mosfek. I would like to add something about my experience in listening to Knowledge Seeker Workshop. In this case, the 580 Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Mr. Keshe showed the graph of how people were interacting, how the soul level was engaging and all of that. My experience was very interesting in the sense that, Mr. Keshe started drawing, and the drawing got a bit complicated. I was following pieces of it, but things were not coming together very well in my mind. So, this was the live broadcast. And I was listening to it, and I went through it, and it wasn't usually my experience with listening to Knowledge Seekers workshop are fairly good. I mean, I pretty much get most of the things the first time. But 580 was, I got pieces of it, but, it wasn't, becoming coherent in my mind. So the picture was very difficult for me to follow. And, I tried to look at it, but it didn't make any sense. So I thought I will do something different this time. So I listened to it again, but this time I closed my eyes and didn't look at the diagram at all, what Mr. Keshe was drawing. I just listened to it, closing my eyes, and completely, trying to engage my soul as much as possible. And so I listened to it, and then I said, okay, and I stopped, and things were much clearer. It was like things were making sense. The thing that I missed during the live broadcast, that was interesting because, I wasn't following any of the drawings, none of these things, but everything fit together in my mind. So that was a bit odd. So, and then later on I went there and then I understood the figure. Yes, it was a complicated figure, but still I understood it. But the interesting thing is that sometimes, engaging oneself outside of the customary physical engagement can be enlightening or even, rewarding and even more powerful than just the physical engagement. And I was thinking about it, and I said, maybe I should one day try instead of listening to the Knowledge Seeker workshop on a phone or, YouTube or whatever, but just not listen to it, but just engage one's soul during that time. Maybe something can happen. So this is something to think about, something to look into. But it comes together with Mr. Keshe's presentation of that graph that he was talking about. It was interesting that that came not too long ago, and my own experience, and this was a bit different from what I'm used to. So in any case, if you get confused by things, this is one way to do it. May work for you. You may have a better way as well. Anyway, I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear Moshri. When you were teaching in the KF SSI Bangla Public Shikha teaching and knowledge seeker workshop, when you were sharing the screen and drawing again, you see like the arrow going out in the universe and the arrow going towards the core of the earth. Like that, I felt like this beautiful meditation. Thank you. Thank you, my dear beautiful soul. You are. Thank you, Moshri.
Perhaps it's a good time to address a question in the YouTube, and perhaps Moshfek or someone else from the Universal Council can answer. It's about the graph that we saw. Let me just bring that up in our presentation here. There we are. Oops. The graph from Tander, who has a question, says, good afternoon. What is the isolated green line in the graph in particular referring to? And what do the other colors represent? Anybody like to weigh in on that question?
I will. I'll talk about the parts I remember is that the green line is the soul's engagement, and yellow line is the physicality. The pink line is the soul of physicality, and then there is a blue line here, which is energy exchange with the system. And Mr. Keshe didn't go too much more than that about it. So these are the 4 lines I'm aware of. And in the graph, it shows which one is dominating. So in this particular instance, over a period of time, the soul engagement is very powerful, and the physicality and the soul of physicality is subordinate to that situation. But in the graph, we see that at some point, physicality and soul of physicality is dominance for a bit. You see a peak on the left side, in the left side of the diagram, and it's Mr. Keshe was showing the coherent engagement of the soul, the right side of the diagram. So this is how it was said. And, there are sometimes, because of various disturbances and various other things, the soul of physicality coming to a stronger position. But the interesting thing is that in this diagram is the soul engagement is quite strong. Hopefully that makes some sense.
That's perfect. Thank you, Moshfek. Okay, we can go back to our presentation here. I think this is with Dean, the invitation to be part of the work of the Keshe Foundation.
We're seeing one of the wishes, Rick, I think.
One of the wishes?
It is the daily wish. Daily wish we posted, and
I don't think so. I'm on the,
Okay, okay. This is sorry,
it's,
sorry.
it's
I
not the
apologize.
daily wish. This is an
It
invitation.
is okay. Yes, yes.
I think we read this.
No, this is different. This is supposed to be with Dean as part of a invitation to join the work of the Keshe Foundation.
Okay, Mr. Keshe was asking for different people in different disciplines, part-time or full-time, to gravitate in a way towards the Keshe Foundation as they're setting up some sort of a structure. And again, it doesn't matter if you're a housewife or a car washer or work at a nuclear plant or you're retired. He was looking for different disciplines to start, I guess, understanding the technology and then sharing it with your discipline. I'm not sure exactly, but they're asking people, and the idea is the souls will find their way to the Keshe Foundation. But he said, I think it was entertainment in the announcements, sports, defense, any sort of discipline where you have a professional expertise, you're welcome to contact the Keshe Foundation. And is that at info@keshe.foundation, Rick? Where people
Yes, I'm sorry. I have one little part from the last workshop, the other workshop for that. Thank you.
I believe that was yes, Mark?
She said she has another part from the workshop.
But in regards to the email address, I believe that's correct.
Okay, info@keshe.foundation. Yes, this is where he's asking people to call with their questions or write to the Keshe Foundation in different ways on different subjects. I thought somebody said it was at keshefoundation.org, but I think it's just info@keshe.foundation.
Yes, that should be correct. Okay, now perhaps I'm supposed to play the next part, which is an excerpt from the 579th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. So I think we should proceed into that and see if that's a segue.
But if you're willing to support and willing to serve in this foundation to extend the knowledge, I think everyone will be welcome. And they may pick and choose, but I'm not sure. There'll be a position or a role, I think, for everyone to play, depending on how fast the knowledge is going to be dispersed. Maybe that depends on how many people come forward in this sort of newer scenario.
What if you're a professional wrestler? Is there a place?
Was one of the
place in the
yes
place in the plasma teaching for a professional wrestler?
Yes.
Yes, there is a place.
Is there any profession
for a professional wrestler?
Is there any profession that can't benefit from the plasma technology? That would be a shorter list, I think. I can't imagine anything that couldn't benefit. Most professionals, their body gets sore from their particular profession, especially if you're a wrestler, but even if you're a physician, your body can get sore, and perhaps plasma technology can help with simple things like that, for example.
For sure. And I think I think Mr. Keshe has dabbled in the sports arena more than we're probably aware of.
Well, he certainly talks about football being soccer in common language. Was very important to him when he was young, and he still follows that quite closely as well.
Yeah, perhaps that's part of the leisure time activities. I know there was at one point that was referenced maybe that'll come under entertainment or leisure time activities. I always thought I'd like to see sports play as a win-win situation. Nobody actually wins the game, but they all put their best efforts into it, that we see some fantastic plays or moves or whatever. But the idea it's a win-win. I don't like to see one team winning and one team losing. Of course, maybe for the gambling industry, that may not be good.
Yes,
The
exactly.
rest of it, I think it would be.
I had the vision of, well, we know in the last hockey game between the US and Canada, or not the last one, but one of the ones in this special playoff they had, within 3 seconds, they were fighting. There was a fight that broke out in the first 3 seconds. And then about, I think it was 30 seconds after that, there was another fight. There was, I think, 3 fights in that game. So I was thinking, well, what if we had games where in the first 3 seconds, the players come out and they hug each other instead. And they had to stop the game because they're all hugging each other instead of fighting. And then they go back to playing their hockey. And, they're rough and tough, but they have to take breaks for hugging. So I thought, well, that's a pretty bizarre kind of almost something out of a, Saturday Night Live or something that you can't really conceive of. But yet, perhaps that will be the games of the future, where it's through cooperation that you win and not competition. And, those that can love the other team more than the other team loves them or whatever wins. So I don't know. It's
right. And the other ones that played their heart out, they're considered losers. And this is not great for the emotions of the players, I think.
Well, yeah. Well, there should be no losers, though. That's the whole concept. So we have to change
Yes,
the
there
rules
should
of
be
the
no
game.
losers.
Change the rules of the game.
Indeed.
Or be like my mother and always root for the underdog. It doesn't matter which side it was. Someone asked her, which side or which team are you rooting for? And she says, well, I root for the team that's behind. I always root for the losing team to make it even.
There may be a question in the Q&A for Mosfeq on that graph again. Rick, I'm not sure. I think she's saying love. What is above? The words are not all there. Would you like to open your mic if you would? Raise your hand. I know you were interested in these graphs and thought we should understand more about them. What is above and below?
And what is below the x-axis? What is above and what is below the x-axis?
I don't think Mr. Keshe has mentioned the value, but essentially it's some sort of magnitude of the field. I mean, it can be a combination of magnetical and gravitational. I'm not sure because he hasn't mentioned it. And it's not field strength that I am sure, because field strength, soul's field strength is always high, generally higher than physicality for sure. It's something else. It's so I wouldn't want to guess because it hasn't been mentioned as far as I'm concerned. And somebody may have heard otherwise. So if somebody knows more than what I'm saying, please feel free to speak up, because I haven't heard it being mentioned anywhere. So anyway, that's
that was an interesting comment in the chat, Rick, on the Zamboni machine. That's the machine they used to scrape the ice with. perhaps we can embed some GANs into the ice itself.
Yeah, Dennis is.
That was a good one. Very nice, Dennis. Thank you.
Yeah, well, maybe that is the way of the future. What if you were skating on GAN's ice? Could you be aggressive in that environment? Maybe not. And what if the before everyone came into the stadium, they sprayed down all the seats and the floors, and maybe had a ventilation system that produces GANs in the atmosphere to help with that ambience.
This is what he was saying about the technology being delivered through apps, through speakers, and through drones that never need refueling. So for certain, you can embed this into AstroTurf for the football players, whether it's American or European. There'll probably be a lot of benefits to the players and the crowd.
There'll always be people that will complain that they feel they're being controlled. But the thing is, we are controlled all the time anyways. It's why not control it to our benefit so that we at least feel good and feel like, maybe you can convert people so instead of feeling like they want to fight the other team, like as a spectator at the end of the game,
right?
Maybe all the spectators get up and hug all the other spectators from the other side. And if we could pass that on to politicians, and maybe we could, find some commonality that clicks and works, namely the simple thing called love, at least acceptance of the other side. It was very strange to see Trump talking about, addressing his cabinet and the new people and so on, and all of the Democrats sitting there, and they refused to clap for anything or all of the accomplishments he's done in the last 2 months. They would not clap for a single thing, even when it benefited them. And it was kind of sad to see, but it was a statement of that duality, that division that has occurred in politics, and that needs to be rationalized somehow. It's the same thing in Canada too. It's this 2- and 3-party system has collapsed into something that's not effective anymore, and it's time for a plasmatic change for all of that, as well as every other system that we have operating currently, which is all systems are in the edge of collapse in many ways, but they're collapsing into a new plasmatic system that will come forward. This is the only way that it can really take place. There has to be a mutation and an elevation occur. And it's occurring, it seems, on every dimension, every genre, every aspect of our lives, and perhaps aspects of other lives other than human lives as well.
Rick, in this election, there was the Democrats joined the Republicans this time. So although there is this demarcation, but there is the joining happening at the same time. So things are changing really in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's collapsing into a whole. The division is no longer as tenable as some may pretend to.
Right, and it's just so fantastic when he talked about this new space fuel where you could go to Mars and back. They're going to create that dimension within just a couple of seconds. And he said this new space fuel will allow us to operate at the strength and the fields of the Creator. And it's going to touch the soul of the man, the soul of physicality of the man, the emotions, the material production, and the illnesses. He says all from one energy source. So he called it a basic space fuel. It doesn't exist on this planet. So I'm not sure if he was referring to the CH4 as he said before, but this is how some of these things are going to be delivered. And this holds the energy that we need for the transmutation that we're short of. This, what he called a new space fuel, which doesn't exist on this planet. So this is how powerful the technology. And going back to the sports, I remember he said if someone broke their finger or broke their wrist, they wouldn't be out of the game. With the new technology, within 20 minutes or so on the sideline or back in the locker room, that bone could be repaired and your star player could be back on the field. So this is how phenomenally deep the understanding of the technology is. He said it's so deep, even the knowledge seekers couldn't dream of what is, in a way, within the Keshe Foundation.
Good point, Mark. Here's an image of the plasma cosmic ray material inside of the sphere, which Mr. Keshe says, do not open the sphere. Of course, it's the first thing curious minds want to do. In this case, don't. But it's a beautiful presentation, as Mr. Keshe has talked about, how he spent 10 hours traveling just to find the bag, the proper bag for the whole thing to sit inside of.
Right, and he had talked about a gram of this cosmic material that could create a shielding over an entire country, and he said it's been tested. In this workshop, he was talking about the fields of the universe and how you can see when they affected us, our emotions in a way, to be more warring at periods of time and maybe less warring at other periods of time, but we seem to be at a lot of war a lot of the time. But imagine creating a shielding for that particular emotion not to be created from the universe as this spaceship is traveling and this whole thing is moving. So that could be, he said it was originally to protect the Earth like a defense system from asteroids and meteorites and different things like that. But imagine if you can create a dome to block some of these, let's say, lesser emotions that we sort of want to leave behind. And this would also give us a protection to move forward in a peaceful manner. Because the sun has huge, huge effects and other energies in the universe on our emotions. And apparently this can be historically documented. So this material could create, and it probably can do 1,000 odd things if you know how to play with it.
Okay, let's, is there anything else you want to say about the products? We do have, it's coming up here.
You can order fresh fish in the store now, Rick?
Yes, I think that was, but we have a video, I believe, that's supposed to be played here. Now, I'm not sure if the video, I think it's supposed to come first. Maybe it's talks about these products. It's an excerpt from the 579th Knowledge Seekers Workshop at almost 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So let's have a look at that now.
There's something I wanted to ask. I know this is the reason because in all these communications we have, we lost the connection with a couple of people, which I would like. I know one is in Germany. Those of you who've been in space development technology with NASA, with X, with German or French space, with British space, with the Chinese or the Russian space, we need to, or we would like to contact you as a matter of urgency. Send a message to info@keshe.foundation and write for attention of empty cache space. We don't want somebody who read something. We want those who actually been involved in any part of the space industry. Apollo 1, Apollo 2, there's some old people there. I used to know one of the chiefs of Apollo program. She has died now. Miss Hardy, very close. I had a very close connection with her. So we are looking, if you have been in any shape or form associated with any of the nations of space technology. Does not matter language, you can't speak English or the rest of it. There is a reason for this, and as I said, 2025 is the year of breaking technologies. And we are looking for those of you who are specialists or have been or been part of any of the space programs anywhere in the world. We are color blind, race blind, language blind. We are looking for a group of you who've been in gas and oil refining or in that kind of bracket. We're looking for those who are in energy. We want people with experience and quality, not just a talk. We are looking for those who are metallurgists, material specialists, and those who are in environmental programs. We are looking for the people who are or have worked with CERN or any plasma technology developments around the world. We're looking for nuclear physicists who are specialized in radiation transmission. We are looking for doctors who are specialists in certain fields, not the normal doctors. We want specialized people in the world of medicine. We are looking those who understand the work of the fields and cosmology or magnetic field development. We are looking for those who understand the work of the water dissemination. And if you cover any of these, just send a message to info@keshe.foundation and we'll get back with you. We are looking for experts with years of knowledge. We know a lot of people in NASA are disheartened. We know a lot of people in X at the moment, even though it looks very good, they have given up on the work of, what do you call it? The work of X. We know Russian space agency, I used to have a lot of contact with them. Come back in, we have a big target for the space technology development. The same with the Chinese in Chinese space and defense. We're looking for those who are expert in nuclear industry on the field transmission. They know who they are. We have 2 or 3 of them I know, they can join us. One of them is one of the Iran eminent scientists working in Brazil. We are looking for those of you who understand, have a good grasp of environmental cleanup. We don't believe in global warming. We're looking at the people with water treatment, environmental change, city atmospheric conditions, pollution. Write to us, and very soon we'll make international announcement about this. And please, no knowledge is not good enough. It just depends if your knowledge fits into what we want at this moment of time. Thank you very much, Rick, for today.
Will you make an announcement on X for that, Mr. Keshe? Or
we will
later?
make an announcement on X, on Twitters, on Facebook, on YouTube. Yes.
Okay, that completes our excerpt from the 579th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. That was from February 27th. Okay, now we have the subject that Mark, just get things lined up here, bear with me. Mark's fish. What's up with the fish, Mark?
I don't know, but the magravs are separated from one side and the other. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I thought you would add water to these. Of course, this is about the Iranian New Year, the creator in the water, the air, the wind, and the fire. You can order these products for energy enhancement. I think you can order them for bringing a peaceful condition. You can also order them for, is it balancing? So I think the three choices with these particular products, and there's probably more to it, as he usually leaves something on the shelf, so to speak. But they're not expensive. They'd like to get these to you. They're only going to be made a limited quantity of these. But I thought there was water in there, Rick. And yesterday you sort of said, no, these are gel. And as Mr. Keshe said, if you have the eye to see, you can see the GANs embedded in the material. And there's a few of them are very beautiful presentations, very lifelike, like this one. One glance, you might think they are real. But again, you can see from the color, I think this would be the energy. It has a resemblance to CH3. And of course, the material is embedded in a gel. Is this the idea, Rick? I thought you would buy these. And then,
yeah, it's like a resin, a fiberglass resin, or okay, not fiberglass, but a
gel.
A poly resin, like, yeah. So it'd be hard.
I thought you would just put these and add water and it would make this, but no, it's already embedded into the material, and there's probably more. So again, there's peace, there's energy, and there's balance. I think those are the three choices if you look here. And these are some of the latest offerings from the Keshe Foundation. Again, limited, but will become a collector's item, because I think in the future, most of these technologies, not exclusively, as he said, the store will have 30,000 products, but many of the offers in the store are going to be put into apps, put into speakers, and then put into the drone system. I did like the one with the starfish. That's a very, very nice looking one as well. Everyone's sort of coexisting together. Maybe this is the peaceful one or the balance. It seems to, I feel that field from it. And you'd probably put these around the house, Rick, or in your office environment if there's tension within the office or the home.
Yeah, and especially if you have some sort of little altar or something that you might do your spiritual work in, you could put these next to it. That would be good. Maybe next to a computer. It would, as you mentioned, this idea of balance and tranquility is kind of exemplified here. And I could see something like that beside my computer monitor, and perhaps that would help keep the fields balanced and keep the words more balanced.
And this is leading up to the Iranian New Year, which there'll be something happening, I think, in March. We'll have to see. I mean, we know the New Year is about March. We saw a beautiful presentation in Sanya by the Chinese knowledge seekers who set up on the stage some of the different offerings of the food and the water and the sweets and so many different things. I know the Buddhists used water and a lotus, and they have some water dripping. I was in a Buddhist temple at one time, and they had water dripping into a container of some sort. If I read, this was years ago, with a lotus flower, I think, in there. Maybe Murnaz will share more. I think she understands that. But again, he referred to the water, the air, and the fire, or the wind, representing.
And where does plasma fit in? That's the missing element. That's not, well, it's represented by the flame, actually. A candle flame would be the plasma representation. But in this case, this is cold plasma. It's embedded into the what appears to be water inside, but it's the part that's settled out on the bottom here. Yeah,
so many offerings within the Keshe Foundation store. More and more will appear. As you said, the systems are ready to go, and they have more on the shelf, I think, than so far has been offered in the store. And of course, the store will increase to thousands of products, but maybe most of them will be delivered directly through the telephone and the headphones. These are just some of
get your physicality things while you can.
And maybe this is again hiding the technology in a way in the back door, but as he said, soon will be coming in the front door. So all you'll need to do is supply the foundation with the funding for a certain channel, and maybe, as we see with the insurance offers, or a yearly fee, we'll have to see. Maybe you can even book flights that way. But he said the technology development is even beyond the dreams of the knowledge seekers, and we're pretty good dreamers, aren't we, Rick?
Yeah, we dream, and we dream in reality as well.
Yes, my dear Mark, it's like, this beautiful product is like gift, a beautiful gift. What can I say? A beauty.
Total gift, beauty. Yes.
Yeah, so much beauty, like, what can I say? Yeah, like dream coming true. Indeed, of course. Even seeing here, we can feel the beauty, the energy. Like, like you have said, the starfish, beautiful butterflies, beautiful.
Okay, we have, I think there is a Knowledge Seekers workshop excerpt that I am to play here regarding the handmade resin mini aquarium, as it's called. So let me just get that set up here. Okay. Okay, this will be about 3 minutes or so.
Oh yes, before I forget, I just received a note from our people in the background. Keshe Foundation has produced a limited edition of what I call glasses, which carry the emotion of the time to come for 21st of March 2021. It's limited edition. Very few of them will be available. As you understand, the structure of the Iranian New Year is the fish and the water, the creator and the world. Very limited numbers are available, and these are handcrafts individually, and will be for try to be able to reach you before 21st of March, which is the spring New Year. Then if you go to the website of the Keshe Foundation, you can see them. They all carry the essence of the creation in a different way. The earth, the wind, and the fire, or what we call the earth, the water, the air.
Are these the items that you're talking about?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, these are the ones they put out. Yes,
it's under mini aquarium as the title for it, but there's many different shapes and sizes here of this cups and
one of the features of the new year is the fish. If you were in Sanya last year with us, happened to be the day after the end of the conference was the new year, and the Chinese brought out the fish and everything and set up a beautiful table for the new year. And this is what has been put by the knowledge seekers to show the beauty of the creation. Very, very limited edition because it has to be made individually according to what you order to be able to reach you by time or by spring. Any questions?
and to be clear, they're not real fish, I presume, that are embedded in there.
No, I don't think so.
No.
And if you see, a lot of them carry the symbol of the star formation. Many of them carry the three fishes.
Very good.
Okay.
All right, there's further elucidation about the fishes.
So they're not only pleasing to the eye, I think they'll be pleasing to the emotions as well. But it's for you to experience that and hopefully report back to us.
All right, that should be sufficient. Get it? Haha. For that slide, and we'll move on to the next, which is transmutation. I'm not sure if there's something here about announcements from the 580th Knowledge Seekers Workshop about the Keshe Foundation license with Mark. Do you know about that, Mark?
Well, we did cover that a little bit in the testimonial meeting yesterday. I'm not an attorney, but apparently, like any good company, if you're producing Hermes bags and they're knockoffs or Fendi or Gucci or anything like that, they will stop you or get an injunction, and maybe that would be what the Keshe Foundation will do. But he's saying there were 250 companies now. He thinks there's maybe thousands of people involved in making, shall we call it, fake products without a license. He's not, the foundation is not wanting to destroy or break you down. They actually want to include you in the process, but they want you to do it the right way, and they want you to be certified. This has a lot of reflection on the foundation when the name is on the product or you're using the Keshe Foundation. So I think there'll be a letter from an attorney going out to join us, or there'll be a channel for people to say, okay, I've been making the products, I'll get rid of my inventory or sell my inventory, and then we'll start making it the right way. And he said that it wouldn't matter if you made it in your garage, you're a housewife or whatever, if you're certified, and you'll have a certain QR code, as I understand it, to verify that certification. And then you'll probably also have to sign a non-disclosure agreement that you'll keep whatever's been shared with you about producing it the right way. Maybe that's the way, Rick, to learn how to make the MagRav correctly, is you market them incorrectly, and then you're brought into the Keshe Foundation to correct it, but you won't be able to share it, most likely. As he said, it'd take centuries to get every sort of aspect out of the MagRav. And again, I don't think it's the MagRav in the dimension of matter state. I think it's the MagRav in the dimension of energy state.
Well, there's a funny kind of story that goes along with that idea, Mark, which is back in the old days and even in modern times, in order to go to sea on a ship, you had to be part of the union, the Seamen's Union, it was called.
Oh, okay.
But how did you get to be in the Seamen's Union? You had to have already been to sea. So it's a bit of a catch-22. So how do you get the experience of being to sea to be in the union if you can't get on the boat because you're not in the union? So what people would do would, you'd be a stowaway. You'd sneak onto the boat and be a stowaway and just start working and helping out and doing the best you can. And if you were accepted by the rather tough crowd that was part of the union at that time, they would make sure that you got in the union when you came back to shore. If you didn't work out so well, maybe you wouldn't make it back to shore. So it was a system where you had to find a way to get yourself noticed because you worked really hard and had the right attitude and the right, skills and whatnot, and were willing to learn all these kind of essential characteristics that would be tested when you were out to sea as a newcomer. So in a way, it might be like that for being accepted by the Keshe Foundation. How do you become a acknowledged and certified distributor? Well, you've already had to been distributing it and shown that you have the right attitude and the right, the right stuff to be accepted into that union. So it could be a little tricky because if you're first starting out, perhaps you wouldn't have the credentials to make the grade, so to speak.
Right. So he's saying there's an easy way to come under the umbrella, or there'll be a harder way to be excluded from the umbrella. So I think he will take it to that length if people continue to offend in a way the reputation of the foundation or produce fake products without the license. Once you have the license, you're certified. So I think the first thing will be inviting people to move it towards the Keshe Foundation and understand how to do it. And then if that doesn't happen, a letter will come from probably an attorney of sorts. And then following that, that'll be taken to a judge, and then there'll be an injunction probably issued by a judge. I don't know if this is the way it'll work. And then if you're within 90 days, they'll give you a cease and desist order. And if you don't, then there'll be penalties within the court. And we know how that works in Kenya sometimes, don't we, Rick?
Yeah, even without any interaction with the Keshe Foundation, things can go quite sideways. So yeah, this will be the challenge in the next month or two here, I think, is how can the Keshe Foundation smoothly bring people into the fold, so to speak, or under the umbrella, as it's called, and hopefully we can all gather under one big umbrella and be a happy family that way. So.
Right, and this will probably increase the business because now you're certified and you can run, I think they'll be having different platforms where people get to advertise their products and the rest of this, but it'll all be certified and licensed. It just won't be knowledge seekers doing whatever they think they need to do to make a product.
Yeah, I wonder about the people who don't charge money for the product and just give it out freely. Will they be covered under a product agreement and all of that, or are they going to be left as free-range chickens that do their own thing? Wild.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to see.
Yeah, interesting times, and I'm sure Mr. Keshe will come up with solutions. It's time to think about that again after. We did have workshops years ago, and it was a lot of kerfuffle to keep that organized and keep everyone happy and so on. And eventually the Keshe Foundation had to let go of all that. And especially with COVID that hit, kind of put a damper on the group meetings. So anyway, we're in a different era now, and it's looking really forward looking for plasma in general, and I think it'll be popping up in every realm, and we just have to find a way to corral the energy and put it toward the best for the best for all beings everywhere.
So let's get into transmutation.
Yes, thank you, Mashwek.
So for today's presentation, I am going to use an image from NASA. So let me share the screen. So can you see the image? All right. So this is the Earth's magnetic field being distorted by the pressure created by the magnetic field of the sun. So I will add the sun here. So let's add the sun to our image, which is not present in this moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color, make the sun yellow or something like that. And, yeah. Okay. All right. So the interaction with the sun's magnetic field, sun's magnetic field is coming from, let me draw to show the arrow which way it's going towards the planet. I won't, probably I can use an arrow. Let's see, this is, and you can add an arrow to it. So this is the direction of the field flow, and when there is magnetic field, two magnetic fields flowing in opposite direction, there is a friction, and one of the manifestation of this friction is our blue sky. So this is so we see this as a blue sky. It's a sensation of light being blue in this, becoming blue. It's the light that we see when we look at sky during the daytime. And it's not present in the other direction, which is other side of the planet, because there is no that kind of friction. And we see this in this diagram, and we see the distortion of the magnetic field. And one of the nice things about this diagram is that there are a few magnetic field lines that are being shown here, which are going outside. Then they're not. So this is connecting the planet's magnetic field with entities elsewhere, other places in our galaxy or somewhere else outside of the galaxy and beyond. So we see this interaction now, and this is and this also shows how magnetic fields are being bent by the field pressures at various places. Now, so this light that we see as blue sky, so if we bring the soul into the picture, let's draw our soul for a moment. And let's see. So we draw another circle here, which is, let's call it our human soul. In this case, let's make it, let's say, something of a pink type. So the human soul, if we are to draw a human soul, so is there an interaction with our planet in this case as well? And no, not planet. I specifically want to mention the sun. So there is, so just like the planet Earth, is there an interaction with the sun, with our soul? And they're just two magnetic fields, just like the planet Earth and the sun. The sun and our soul, they are also similarly magnetic fields. So I'm drawing another sphere. We change the size of the sphere a little bit around the soul, and in a moment, so I will show how it. So what we are going to do is so we are going to change the. Let's see. We're going to change the angle, like not the angle, but the part of the what do you call it, end point and the beginning point of this. So let's see, I'm going to change the fill. So what's happening here is this, that there is an interaction between the sun and our soul, which is, let me change the color of it and make it yellow. So this is the interaction between the field of the planet Earth, of the sun and planet and our soul. And just like the case in the figure below, with the interaction of the two created the blue sky, so it creates a certain feeling, which is the light. that is around the front-facing part of our soul. So we feel the sun at the soul level, and it's an interaction of the field of the sun and the field of our soul, and it creates a light in the direction from which the sun is interacting with our soul. So this is I drew the sun in this case, but it can be with any other magnetic field. When we meet a person, their magnetic field interacts with us and we feel it. There's a certain emotion. And this is this emotion that we feel. So that the interaction of the two fields created certain manifestation of light. And we, in us, it is an emotion, a feeling. Whether we acknowledge it or not, it is there. Now, so becoming aware of this feeling is something that we can even test in the interaction during our soul connection at 9 even. And this is something to explore. It's an opportunity to explore this interaction. You know, if we pay attention to the interaction of the sun with our soul, we can probably isolate it, as we can do when, let's say, somebody walks in the room and we feel something different. So when we are facing that particular field, we can sense the interaction it creates. The most interesting thing is that if we, let's say, add the field of the creator. And we will just so if we think about this one, and we similarly draw another circle, just like we did in case of the, what do you call it? Like before, then what we have is something like this. I'm once again creating an arc, just like before. In this case, the arc would be something like this. And it's the interaction of the field of the creator with that of our soul. Why does it have this line? This wasn't before, but it's okay. So this interaction, we see the purple interaction, that's the interaction with the creator. So how can we use this interaction, this feeling of the interaction with the field of the soul of the creator? What can we get out of it? Mr. Keshe talks about that there is a direct link between our soul and the creator, and we can take advantage of this. what kind of information does this interaction allow us to explore? What kind of energy can we send or receive? This is something for all of us to explore. This is part of our journey of transmutation. So this kind of interaction with another plasmatic entity, and the most powerful of them all is the creator. And how we are to benefit from it and make the best of it is up to us. And up to us to seek out, experiment with it, play with it, with the best of intention we can muster. We can make a lot of difference. Thank you very much. And that's all I wanted to share today. And I hope it helped. And I hope...
Keep your picture up there, Mashfaq.
Okay.
Ike has a question here for you.
Okay, go ahead.
In the chat, or Q&A, says, what determines where the side the manifestation of the light occurs? Since magnetic fields are supposed to occur everywhere, but the illustration shows at a certain point facing the sun, a bigger plasma.
Yes, it's a similar situation as the planet Earth. It is that field is flowing from one direction to another. The planet's field is going from the planet towards the sun. And then there is the meeting of them. And certain field strength manifests as this light, where the two are close enough to have interaction. That's when we see it. And are there other interaction from the backside of the Earth? I'm sure there are many stars, many other galaxies from other. And this is Mr. Keshe went into more detail about this. I'm not going too much into it. And this is one way we can navigate at the soul level. We have to be able to navigate where are things, where is the galaxy, where is the center of the galaxy, or the universe for that matter. You know, in a way, if we are in a room and if we don't have, let's say, vision, we have souls in the room, right? And we can navigate and we may not bump into each other just by feeling the interaction of magnetic field. It's the same thing. And this gives us where the one person is. So from one direction, the field flow is happening because of the presence in space, three-dimensionally speaking, and then we can navigate. So it's way of interaction as well as a way of navigation. So the reason the interaction is directional and specific, and we can use it to do a lot. This is not something that is peculiar to, let's say, the planet or the sun, or we can see it even in a room when we are interacting with others. If we pay a little more attention, we can feel the presence. And actually, this is used by the martial arts experts. They can sense people around them, and without their eyes, and they can react. And we know about this. They even talk about this. They practice it.
They did a study with turtles recently, or over the last years, actually, to see if they were sensitive to magnetic fields. And they duplicated in the lab the different magnetic fields of the Earth, the angle and the intensity and so on. And the turtles knew the difference between these different magnetic fields. They knew where they were on the planet according to the characteristics of the magnetic fields. And they also had a separate sense of direction. They knew which direction to go to, as well as knowing where they were. So they had both a GPS as well as a compass built into their magnetic sensing apparatus. And these turtles travel around the entire Atlantic Ocean, north to south. It takes them several years to make the journey, and they go back to their place of birth after 7 years of traveling around. So they have to have pretty good directional system to be able to do that. Most of us have probably lost that art and would end up lost in the ocean somewhere, because we don't use that anymore. Like perhaps we will in our near future. Perhaps we'll be able to sense those magnetic fields of the universe, as you're mentioning.
So one aspect of Mr. Keshe's teaching is that we can elevate ourselves to become like turtles. So, we think the humans are better, but
Are you trying to make a turtle out of me?
yeah, turtle can teach us a few lessons here as well.
Yes, turtle out of you. But actually,
Who is it that
Mike
always
said-
wins the race? Is it the tortoise or
It's
the
a
hare?
turtle.
So,
also I
not
want
just magnetic field, we may learn patience from them. So, and this is something we also need.
Now, Rick has brought this up before. I think Rick knows what I'm talking about with the red lines in the Nazca drawings there. Are they expressing their understanding of magnetic fields? We looked at it as a spider. Rick, you've brought this up before.
Yeah, there are some of the Nazca lines that look like a spider, but it looks more like what we see in the image here of the kind of washed out magnetic fields. And this is a typical image of what happens to magnetic fields that are subject to other magnetic fields in any environment. And it would look that way with a magnet with another magnet beside it, pushing in a certain way and so on. So
maybe we can open that in the reactor group a little bit, or even ask the AI if they could superimpose the Nazca spider on top of this interaction between the Earth and the Sun.
Okay, well, that could be an interesting investigation. Sure.
I also want to say that if there's a word like determination, then the determination starts from you, from your ability to understand what is the light, how you feel the light, how you structure the light, how you feel this energy as a whole in beauty and totality. That is totally on you. You are the key. So this is also very interesting, beautiful. Thank you, Moshfik. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Mark.
Yes, thank you, Mosfek. Maybe we can have a redo of this drawing in the reactor group too.
All right, well, I will bring this picture to the reactor group meeting and see where we go. Perhaps we can become turtle someday.
Or perhaps we can learn how to create our own fields around us to act as a protective barrier in the way that field lines we see there in the image. That's us as the Earth. And we can, when we project our magnetic fields, our presence, basically, we can walk amongst dangerous fields and be protected, basically. That's the idea. We can bring that up in the reactor group, as you mentioned.
So shall I take it down? Or is there any other question?
I think we're done. Thank you, Moshfak. Oh, well, there was another question from Mike. On Earth, does the equator's heat intensity reflects the manifestation of light coming from sun and Earth?
Of course, every ley line, every grid line on Earth reflects, and it's reflecting more than ever. Indeed.
Yeah, again, we could maybe cover that more in the reactor group if you don't feel you got enough of an answer here. All right, let's carry on. So are you done with transmutation then, Moshfek?
Yes.
Okay.
Rick, we can skip these for today if yes, there is the needs and wishes, beautiful souls. And we, the Universal Council, give from our souls to all souls collectively to the peace in the Middle East, for the peace in the Middle East in exchange for Keshe technology for all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Rick, as we have covered the mostly the questions or sharing, if anything else, any beautiful soul want to share, most welcome. Always welcome.
I think we're good in our YouTube, and let me see here. We have some Q&A questions. Just trying to look at them here. We've covered that. I guess we covered everything, yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we can move to the next presentation. Again, my dear beautiful souls, we are here to serve, not to be served. The Universal Council. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Suswagatam to the beauty and totality, the beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome to the beauty of love, the beauty of peace, the beauty of prosperity, abundance. Welcome to Keshe Foundation again. Welcome, welcome to all souls in existence, in love, so universal. Thank you so much, and join, jump, and come from all around the world. Join Keshe Foundation in all the love. Thank you so much, the Universal Council. Salam, namaste, salute.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Sweta, and thanks to all the members and support members of the Universal Council for today's presentation, number 369, in a weekly series of presentations ongoing for over, 7 years or something like that. And we are thankful for their participation and thankful for your participation as our audience as well. Thank you for being here and being part of the show. Okay. Also, thank you, Mark, for being the co-host once again today. Very helpful. Let me see. Let's move on. Our next public teaching workshop is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, and it's open to members of the public, young and old, and experienced with the plasma or not. And we dive into a number of different topics, mostly related to the plasma technology. And would enjoy your presence. That starts Wednesday, March 12th starting at 7 a.m. Central European time, which, by the way, is the same as 11 p.m. Tuesday, March 11th today in Pacific time. And I note there is a 1 hour time difference that's different than it was last week when before the time changed in North America and South America and some other areas of the world, but not in Europe. So check your local time with the time that we give in Europe for all of the workshops, including the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up Thursday, March 13th. It will also start at 9 a.m. Central European time, which will be different locally in the Western world in terms of North and South America. So check your local time to see if it's an hour later than it normally would be. Okay, I hope that made sense. Let's move into our musical ending today.
Musical. Check, check, check. Time for dance. Clap, clap. Thank you, my dear Rick. Thank you so much. Being joy, beautiful soul.
Very good. Thank you, Sweta, for that introduction to our Universal Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit music version. And again, thank you everyone for being here today, and bye for now.